It is now my Monday, Saturday. Back to the 5-day week for a whole month. And I started thinking about it. When I change jobs, my schedule's still gonna say Saturday to freaking Wednesday for a while. I know how it is. It doesn't change right away when you go to a new store. Their schedule stays the same, and those are the days you could probably get points, unless they unpoint you, so your schedule kind of balances out. Which I don't know how long it'll take in that store for my schedule to change to the schedule it's supposed to be. Like, when I transferred here, it wasn't as bad because I had a 4-day week sometimes. I was like, oh, I only have to work my regular schedule like I did at P Ridge. Because it took a while. It took a couple months for them to actually approve my schedule. And, yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, and remember at first I just worked 5 days. I pretty much picked the Thursday, Friday off because I just worked Saturday to freaking Wednesday and then be off Thursday, Friday. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I guess we'll see when the transfer goes through. But I don't know. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be a bitch. That's gonna be a bitch. Hopefully I get her to kind of change my schedule then for a couple of weeks and then, whatever. Oh Lord, anyway, oh my God, I wanted to talk about last night. I started watching another YouTube person, and it is because the title caught me, okay? It's called this guy a sociopath because he basically wrote his mini diary on YouTube. And, he talked every single day, they said, about personal stuff and was honest and candid and whatever, but they pretty much called him a sociopath. And they referred to him as some other sociopath, like an American version. Like this guy was Asian, so he was an Asian version of an American sociopath, I guess. I don't remember the other guy's name, but it was a funny ass thing. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought, damn, is that what I was? I'm a sociopath, which I feel like I haven't thought about it myself sometimes. I mean, I know I'm not really, but sometimes you just wonder, sometimes you wonder if you could be a sociopath. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not dead with emotion, so there's that. I'm not gonna go to cut up bones and kill people and whatever. I just, you know what I mean? I don't know. Am I crazy? Maybe. Like, what? That's what they're called, because I did the same goddamn thing. That's why I cleaned up my channel. Mostly. But, yeah, I'm working on it, okay? But I don't see anything wrong about, like that guy, because, about sharing your lives. That's the whole point. The only problem is you end up with all these trolls and people, because he did have some issues, like, obviously the issues, they didn't go in depth about the issues with the people who might have not liked him because of his videos. But let's face it, not everyone will like you. Just like, doesn't matter what you post, you can always find somebody trolling your life and going, your life sucks, you're stupid, you're an idiot, whatever, right? I mean, there's always somebody that can say shit about you. And, I don't know. I did find it very refreshing. Like, yeah, him being honest, what's wrong with that? Isn't that like they said, some of the people who started watching him with all his followers, this is how he lived, because he definitely lived off YouTube, was because of this. And, because he had no job. They even called him a jobless pervert. I laughed at that one. That was funny. But, man. Oh, I better find me some food, girl. What am I going to eat? I don't know. Maybe I'll find one in Benjamin. Because obviously not Einstein's. I don't know. I'm not super hungry, but I don't. Maybe I'll go to Burger King in Bentonville. Let's aim for Burger King in Bentonville. I haven't. I'll get that croissant thingy that I can eat. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not super hungry, which is insane. Like, oh, you're gonna eat, but you're not that hungry. But it's because I'm used to eating, and I do need to eat before I go to work because I'm gonna try to make it to lunch. Because if I'm in the store, the only thing I need to actually do is drinking, preferably water, which I brought my smart water I bought the other time, to try to drink that on my breaks. and only eat at lunchtime, and maybe have a drink at lunchtime, which I need to cut that back too. Because if I want to start losing weight, I'm going to have to do something, okay? Because I'm hungry all the time. It's like I'm pregnant or something. I'm like, what the fudge? Which I'm not pregnant. My sex life is like 0, okay? 0 right now. So, anyway, let's go on. What am I thinking? Focus. Ay. Anyway, okay. Yeah. I mean, it was funny listening to this guy's life and his videos he was talking about. I like the honesty. This is what I was going to say. They said that literally people were watching him because unlike some of the fake YouTubers out there making up stuff just to get ticks and whatever, which he was too, obviously, you know, he was more honest. And he wasn't bad looking, I'm not gonna lie. The guy was not bad looking. Like when he decided to pretend to be trans and try to pretend to be a woman too, like at the near end of his career here, I guess, he looked like a gorgeous, pretty woman, okay? I was like, damn, of course he looks, he just has one of those faces that could do that, you know what I mean? Of course. But yeah, he wasn't ugly, you know what I'm saying? And anyway, so that's probably why some people watched him too, because he wasn't ugly also. But yeah, and he did say that he did exaggerate on his diary, because obviously, you know, he exaggerated some of the shit that happened, probably for views, and to make it a little more interesting considering. But my God, and the amount of time him and his wife went back and forth together was like, what the hell? You know, she said, dumb enough to take it back, but yeah, of course we know we are dumb enough to do that, you know what I mean? We're dumb enough to take those dummies back. So can you blame it? And anyway, yeah, it was really freaking interesting. And then Aiden, he started watching it because he's like, he recognized the voice. He said, it's Turkey Tom. I was talking about this guy. And then we laughed some more. It was crazy. Aiden couldn't believe some of the stuff the guy was saying, you know, on the YouTube, his own channel. He's like, oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. But I didn't think he was a sociopath because he was honest and maybe not honest, because, I mean, some of it could have been lies. I mean, like I said, you know, just like he said, for clicks, exaggeration, but, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, you can watch this video, it was pretty funny. And I swear, I think I have seen some of this guy's videos just recently pop up in my video, but I didn't click on any of them, just because I didn't really care. I was like, you know, I mean, sometimes you're just not interested in what some people are saying, but it was fun to listen about him. But like I said, I didn't think he was a sociopath. If that makes you a sociopath, well, everyone might be, which is, I think, what someone said, too. Like, maybe that guy said it. I don't know. You know? Because he was being honest, you know? Oh, Lord. It's just amazing that he could live like that. Like, he can literally go to any country he wanted, wherever he felt like it. He had his apartment. But then later on, I think his YouTube channel must not have been doing that good because, you know, I think he started having to rely on his wife to live off. That's why he was like, you know, that's the thing, he was finding girls to live with too, or go see them or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But apparently he could afford his freaking lifestyle, not having a job and being able to do whatever the hell he wants. They just begging what? Play video games? I'm like, yeah, everyone's dream, right? And he didn't get fat either. Like, how the fudge did this guy not get fat? You know what I mean? I don't know. And most people staying home all the time will get you fat. I don't know. And then, even if you thought somebody was ugly, you'd sleep with them anyway. Then later on, put it on his YouTube channel. But later on, at the very end, he said he was no longer going to lead girls on, and if he didn't find them attractive, he was not going to sleep with them. At least he got some better standards for the poor girls, you know. And he even got, oh God, this was another one. He was having, you know, sex with a sex doll, and he got a UTI from it, some kind of like STD, whatever. They're not real STDs, obviously, but can you imagine getting yeast infections I still fucking sex act. Oh my lord. Yeah, it was hilarious. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, but like I said, that's the kind of, honestly, that is kind of fun to watch, right? You want to know this shit, kind of. You know what I mean? Things that people don't tell you that, you know, are interesting. I definitely find that kind of stuff interesting. I'm very curious about human behavior and stuff like that. I have always been, you know? Oh, Lord. And I did this because I always kind of I always partially wanted to know what was normal. You know what I mean? What's normal? You know? Because you don't learn from other people. You don't know all the time, you know? Like, I think that's the thing about being in school versus being homeschooled. Because there's a lot of shit you find out you have to actually explain to your children because they did it in school, you know? And being around other people. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, well, my kids, they didn't grow up with the same bullshit that the kids in schools did, you know? But they did grow up with some bullshit because imagine being in your own little bubble, right? Bubble. And then having to try and relate to other people and their interests and, you know what I mean? Connect. It's fucking hard. Obviously, because my youngest, my oldest was able to do it. He has friends. He's had friends. So that's why I was like, okay, it does happen. You know, people meet people online and this and that and whatever. But he was actually more of the follower child, you know? Which I guess I was kind of too, because I know my dad always said that. Oh, follow, be a leader. You know? So I think the older child kind of tend to be like that a little bit. And the middle child, they say no, because Aiden never really was, you know? But him having an older brother that kind of, I think that affected his social life too, you know what I mean? I don't know, in a negative way. That's why I kind of like them separate sometimes, like when we went to like church, like when they had Bible studies, and it was actually better for Aiden to be on his own than be in the same room as James. And I think my sister felt the same way because when she was in school, when I was in the same school as she wouldn't flourish. When I left the school to be upper grade, she then started flourishing on her own. You know what I mean? Like, she lived in my shadows for some reason. I don't know why. But that's how it was. And then, you know, she flourished when I was gone. So what does that tell you about the middle child, the second one, the one under the oldest child, you know? And then the baby child, the spoiled one, right? That is his own personality. Man, I don't know how that ends up, but it's, you know, it's different, for sure, for the youngest. And, oh, Lord have mercy. But, yeah. At the same time, I gotta watch Raymond because he does get, like I said, he's starting to get lonely and this and that, you know? That's why I'm trying to do more things with him, trying to get him. I gotta find, like, stuff I did with Aiden. I was trying to find Aiden friends and try to be social and this and that, you know? I didn't really as much as Raymond, because Raymond didn't give a shit back then. He was just like, whatever, I'll do whatever. He went through a lot of stuff we did. Practically going to Subway. But, you know, but then when we started getting to that teenage stage and we just started to do less with people and less whatever, because teenagers don't give a shit about all that crap, you know? They go through that stage, I guess. I don't know. But now he is a teenager and he does give a crap. But I think it's because of the 2020 thing. Like I said, and that's the thing. We hit the 2020. People were not going out anymore. People weren't being social anymore. And with Raymond loved it. But, you know, so he's had those years of that and only knowing people online, which does make me nervous because sometimes he can, you know, unfortunately he grew up with that online presence, which is not nice. You don't see people, you can be mean to people, you talk shit, and he does. I'm like, holy crap, he's got one hell of a mouth. So, you know what I mean? Like, I do get scared that something bad could happen because, you know, he's lonely, and because he might hurt the wrong people, you know? I was like, damn. So I don't know. I gotta, like I said, I have to work on that, because I mean, you know, yeah. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's amazing how your kids turn out that way. But yeah, like I said, Aiden just wasn't as social as James was because, like I said, he has no friends. Even working, he has not really many. Yeah, he talks to people online at work, and they have their own little, you know what. But now he's got a whole new crew of people, and they're not the same people he's like that he was really, I think, close to considering at work. You know what I mean? Now he's started with brand new people. All this crap. And he didn't even know if he can trust any of these people at work because apparently some of them are a bunch of bitches. I mean, that's all I'm going to say about it because, you know, some of the shit I've heard, not so great. But, you know, they're new, so things could change. Oh, Lord. But, anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure. I got, like I said, I've got so much to work on with my kids, and I'm like, but, yeah, that was, like I said, it was hilarious. I just love it. I love that kind of stuff. I guess I need to see if there's more. Maybe that's why I'm watching the Sex and the City, because, I mean, it's something interesting to where people are whining about the show, and let's talk shit about it, and this and that. And it's, you know, it's interesting. Kind of like, yeah, so that's what I'm kind of on, like, people talking about shows and whatever, you know, and negative stuff about it, which makes it interesting, because I got nothing else better to watch right now, honestly. I don't know why, I'm just not interested. Like I said, I'm just not interested in much on YouTube, so it's kind of like, oh my god, I need something. But I really need to get into that, something like find some, maybe how to draw videos and then do those, you know? And then the crocheting thing, and then, like I said, there was a few things I didn't want to do creative-wise, that I need to get on with the YouTube. And maybe even check out some farm stuff again, you know? Try to get back in the homesteading thing. But anyway, I don't know. But yeah, I was like, that's why I was like, am I a sociopath? Am I also a sociopath? And then I thought, you know what, it's probably a good thing I deleted that other channel, because yeah, I was like out there like that guy, I guess, you know? But I don't know, like I said, it makes it really hard to make videos though when you're not talking about anything at all. You're like, you know? It's crazy. It's like, what the hell? But we gotta get over it. We're almost late to Burger King, and time's been ticking, so it's good. It's gonna be a weird ass week, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really nervous for this week. And then I'm like, I know I shouldn't be driving today because obviously the weather sucks. But yeah, I'm like, I hope I get to at least drive Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, to keep me before Saturday and Sunday. I don't want to be in the store more than 2 days right now when I'm supposed to be driving. I just don't. I don't know. When am I going to start looking for a job? Maybe next week? Part of me is like, oh, why worry about it? Just stick and do what you're planning on doing with your TV. Just do that. Just do that. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get kind of complacent, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go back to being complacent. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about, because I thought it was funny, like you said, and then I was like, I'm kind of like, what? You know? I don't know. But anyway, I don't have very many followers on both my channels. And then I did find some old videos, like I got into my, thingies, like these, where I used my external drives, and that's where I got some videos from my old ones. And I'm trying to find some of the ones that I had posted on my original old channel, because I feel sad that those ones are gone. Like, there were some really cute ones, you know? But I don't want to get crazy. Since I like posted like 3 new videos on both channels from old whatever, I am thinking about, like I said, I don't need to post a video today. So I may post one tomorrow, but I may not. I may just say, you know what, since I posted 3 videos, I could go 2 days without posting a video. Let my channel slide. But part of me's like, well, you got all these videos that have to be posted because you're waiting stuff behind. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll post one tomorrow or I'll try to wait another day to kind of, you know, since I posted 3 videos on each channel. Plus what I originally, I think I did post, like, you know, a normal video, at least on one of them, on my regular channel. Because like I said, I have a regular channel and now a channel to put old videos on. But some, like, because I did it on my computer, and the computer YouTube was on my channel. That's the reason I ended up getting posted onto my regular channel and not my old channel, my new channel. Alright, let's see what this guy's gonna do. Is he going that way? Good. I was letting him go, so that's why I was like, ah. Okay, well, I'm gonna quit here. I'll just talk to you later, because like I said, I want to eat, and then I got some other things to do, and that's really all I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna let it go, and God knows when you're gonna even see this video. Like I said, that's what I'm talking about. Because I have all these videos, I don't know which way to post. Like, you know, and I kind of hate that you don't get to see these videos till months later, or weeks later, or days later, or whatever, you know, depending on how I do it. It's confusing. All right, bye.